Right then, just a little video today, pop up on YouTube. Poor old Range Rover, she's finally, well, her suspension has finally bitten the dust, but no problem, we'll fix that. Sink a good few quid into her mind, but I'll point out what's been going wrong. Finally gave up the ghost, the electronic air suspension. That, I think the pump has finally gone. If I can get that up. I think it's a pump. The valve block, I think, is also going to be playing up, and there's been a blockage or something's failed on the valve block, which is this bit here. That's the pump. It literally just compresses air. That goes into the springs, the air springs, because it doesn't have normal springs. It's rubber bags. Just to anybody who doesn't know what they look like, I might as well show you one sitting in the rear. That's one here. It's all rubber, so literally air goes in there and it really just compresses it up. It's just a bit of tubing from the air filter system for the engine intake manifold. Another problem as well, the reason actually, ironically, I was starting this is because the glow plugs have just decided to give up just when we're coming into autumn and the colder weather was kicking in. That's these little boys just down there. You can just see where my finger's pointing at the end of my tip. So there's 6 of them. There's some of them must be still working, because actually it started first thing today. So I've taken the exhaust manifold off. It's plastic. Just done all the 12 nuts there. And alarmingly, there's oil coming out of the exhaust manifolds, which isn't good. So it must be burning a lot of oil when it's running. But I expect the whole engine probably needs an overhaul, really. Bless it. It's a BMW 2.5, was it 2.5 litre? I think it is. Don't quote me on that. And it's also, what was the other thing? Yeah, that'll probably be that's the exhaust gas recirculation. That's probably what's buggering it up. Most engines, that was the European Union for you. So all the exhaust emissions go back into the intake. So it then clogs up the engine with carbon, which then ends up, it just degrades the whole engine. But so that's some of the things going on. So basically, also means I have to put the car up, jack the car up, each wheel one at a time. I'll have to take the plastic trim wheel arch, you can't really see it's underneath there, and replace the air spring. There's just the top of the air spring, you can see there. But I've bought a second-hand unit that's in working order, so what I'll do is I'll replace the whole unit for the time being, and you can get kits to rebuild these. It's mainly the rubber seals, the O-rings that go, but the valve unit, the valve block, that is, I think, the main reason why the whole thing went. I'd actually been ignoring the problem for quite a while, and when I was driving it was quite dangerous, really, because the car was always wanting to go to its maximum suspension height, which obviously there was one of the valves wasn't functioning right. It was probably blocking air in one, and it had to force it into the air suspension. So I don't know what was actually going on, but anyway, while I was driving, I was always having to press it down to knock it down to its normal right height, because wasn't good for fuel economy either if you're always riding on the maximum right height. Ironically, when you're on the motorway, it behaved itself and it went down to its maximum, it's just normal right height, and that came in handy because I had a long trip all the way down to the south coast of Blandford Forum, but it behaved itself all the way down and back in the same day. So yeah, I'll get all this cleared up. Actually, there doesn't look like there's been any gaskets being put in. There should. Normally you get I've just bought some exhaust gaskets for these here. There hasn't been any put on, but I'll put some on. Good job I bought some. I'll put them on when I do the job. I've got, let's have a look. I'll replace the fuel filter. Did that. What else? I'll show you one of the glow plugs. This is really for people who don't know much about cars. I'm sort of teaching myself. Don't want to dirty them too much. I suppose they're going to get dirty anyway. There's a gasket for one of the exhaust valves, and here's one of the glow plugs. So it's done this wrapper, but they just literally heat the engine up before you start. But it's typical. Everything has failed at once. It's sod's law. But there we go. Hopefully getting these nuts off was a bit tricky. It's always fiddly getting your hands into these little grooves, but got it off. Next step, I'll get the just doing the glow plugs today, get them out, done, swapped out. Other than that, the engine's actually been running quite smoothly. It doesn't drink the oil out, over the miles, but that's pretty to be expected. I mean, even more so now that I've seen the oil coming out the exhaust valves there. Sorry, not exhaust valves, exhaust vents anyway. Never mind. But there we go. I think the filter, I've replaced the filter and the fuel filter and various other bits. Haven't done the pollen filters, must do them, they're hidden. I think they're underneath here. But anyway, I'll do an update video later on. Ciao for now.